good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for taking your time to join us today. This event is hosted by the Eritrean Assistance Organization in Chicago. We call EOG. So all of you know that information is these days is a new goal. So just to have a better understanding about our financial skills and then create positive banking relationship, we invited Kevin and Charwin, and we're very lucky now to have them. They're willing to help us. So they are going to just share their experience, and then I'm going to talk about important topics that can be helpful to us. If you don't mind, because I don't have your bio or brief bio, Sharwin and Kevin, you can introduce yourself. It's yours. So thank you.
Kevin, you go ahead and go first.
All right. Well, I am originally from Evanston, Illinois. Grew up here all my life. Played football, played basketball. Um, just pretty much stayed active throughout my youth. I went to school, had the opportunity to play football, and also study business. So business administration was my major, and it led me to an opportunity at BMO back in December of 2018. So I've been here for just about 5 years, kind of working up from the call center to a teller position to being a relationship banker here at Rogers Park. And I would just say that this is a great company to work for. Just the energy, just the people that we work with, as well as the customers that we help every day. It's a total team effort, and I feel like we try to strive and do everything that we can in order to see our customers reach their financial goals. That's really important to us, just as it's important to them. So, giving presentations like this and allowing us to have the opportunity to meet new people in the area as well as organizations and create partnerships that way just helps us extend the information that we try to give every day.
Great.
All
Thank
right,
you.
so I guess it's my turn now. My
Mm-hmm.
name is Sherwin Towson. I'm the branch manager here at BMO in the Rogers Park, Loyola location. Um, One of my favorite things to do is actually inform people of better ways of protecting themselves financially, and what one of the better ways to actually provide information that that is market standard to help you prevent identity theft. I myself, I've been in banking for over 16 years, so I've seen it all when it comes to fraud, check writing, complete identity theft, where people's IDs as well as account information has been taken over, everything. So the importance of this course is by beyond far of the most important importance right now. So one of our main goals today is, one is to actually inform you of ways of protecting yourself. Two, show you those things that are out there. So therefore you have a more so you're more aware of what to be on the lookout for. And then three, answer any questions you may have. One thing that I love about working for BMO is that we try to be a source where people can come to and gain more knowledge before we try to sell you any other type of products. So one thing I want everyone to understand is that this course is more so about us informing you of what's out there and what you have out there to protect you. More just being a center of contact where if you have any questions about banking or anything, we're here to help you with that. All right.
Well
Great.
said.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that.
All
Amazing.
right.
Go
So
ahead.
let's go ahead and, Kevin, if you don't mind bringing up the flyer that we have for you all. So EAOC, we actually, as the fact that you all have become a partner with us, we've actually went ahead and actually provided you all with a promotion as well. So Kevin, can you bring up that flyer for me for the promotion?
Yes. Are you able to see that?
I am
Uh,
not able to see it.
no, it's not.
Yeah.
Before you were, okay, it's coming
There
up.
you go. There you go. There we go. There we go. So currently, right now, and I'm going to bring it up on my screen so I can see it a little bit bigger. So bear with me 1 second. So currently, right now, what we are offering you all, because you're now partnering with us, as a place that we do provide education for us. Um, we're actually offering you this banking service package that helps in real financial progress. Well, we're actually offering you a cash bonus if you were to sign up for banking with us. If you look at the flyer here, it lets you know you can get up to $560 when you open up a checking and savings product with us, depending on the direct deposit that you were to set up with it. This flyer will actually be sent out to all of you all. So if you are a part of the live call, please go ahead and put your email into the chat. Well, email, phone number, as well as name. So therefore, we also just have a way of contacting you because we also want to send you something else called a financial process guide. What this guide does is actually asks you certain questions to kind of help you put your financial goals into perspective. So what we'll do is that if you provide your information, Kevin will go ahead and email you that financial guide where you can answer some questions and also help you get a bigger picture of your finances. All right. So Kevin, let's go ahead and move to the presentation. So identity theft. The goals of this workshop is that first we're going to learn how to identify signs of identity theft and fraud, examine different types of identity thefts and fraud, identify strategies that protect yourself from identity theft and fraud, and fourth, learn how to protect your data using safe habits. How much do you know about identity theft? So what I want you all to do is that we have this poll that I want you to pre-take. So true or false? There is a victim of identity theft every 2 seconds. Natural answer is that's true.
Sure.
You are more likely to have your identity stolen than your car stolen or home burglarized. That is also true. Believe it or not, a home break-in, particularly in the Chicago, Illinois area, is a little bit more unlikely than your identity being stolen. As a banker, probably once a day, I have someone coming into our financial institution asking us to either reprint a debit card or to actually report fraudulent things on their checking account. This course should actually help us course correct certain things that you may be doing wrong that put you at exposure, as well as also help you be able to be able to use the tools that we already have in every banking institution that helps you prevent being a victim of fraud. Kevin, you can go to the next slide for me. Identity theft and identity fraud. Identity theft and identity fraud are terms used to refer to all types of crime in which someone wrongfully obtains or uses another person's personal data in some way. Identity fraud occurs when someone's personal information is used to access money. Identity theft is when a person's information accused is accessed, even if it isn't used for financial gain. So when they say it's not used for financial gain, so many people get their identity stolen for so many different reasons. There's been identity theft for medical fraud. There's been identity theft actually just so people can obtain IDs. So they can go about doing certain things. People steal people's identities just so they can steal their card information, get illegal tags printed, and things like that. There are so many different versions of identity fraud that you need to be on the lookout for. Kevin, you can go to the next slide.
Maybe you can make like in a slideshow format. Maybe, okay. But also it's fine. Either way, you like.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
What are the effects of identity theft? In a survey by the Identity Theft Center, victims said, I had to rely on friends and family for assistance. I lost out on a job opportunity. I couldn't qualify for a home loan. I had to request government assistance. I had to borrow money to help with expenses. I had to use my savings to pay for expenses. Right. How do you identify thieves? How do identity thieves use your identity? Make transactions. They can open new accounts, commit fraud, commit cyber crimes, get prescriptions, receive medical treatment. All right. All right. What can be used to steal your identity? So, your social security number is one of the most popular forms of identity theft. Name, date of birth, address, driver's license, passports, marriage, divorce records, insurance cards, credit cards, debit cards, personal checks, and emails. From this point, I'm gonna let Kevin take over the slides, and he will go through slide number 9 with us. I'm sorry. Wait, did I skip one? All right. Yeah, I skipped one. So I'll let you do that one, Kevin, and then go through 8.
All right. So, what is personally identifiable information? Biographical data such as biometrics, medical, financial, all this data form all this data forms the basis of personally identifiable information. Uh, PII can be a piece of data that is collected. Um, I'm sorry, PII can be a piece of data or a collection of data that is unique to you and can be used to trace who you are and other personal facts about you. So just being weary of subscriptions or anything that you plan on signing up for. If they're asking for any biographical data, such as a thumbprint, a signature, any history, birth records, anything like that, it is definitely something to double think, because sometimes, and most times, those are uh, the victims who of identity theft. What can be used to steal your identity? Many things such as your social security number, your name, birth date, address, driver's license, passport, marriage, divorce records, just a plethora of things here. Insurance cards, credit, debit cards, personal checks, email addresses, just a lot of things that you do have to be secure with, as far as limiting the information that you put online or to anything that you may subscribe to. It's used by identity thieves. You got theft. You have dumpster diving, where they will actually try to search for your information that you've thrown out. You have shoulder surfing, where email chain can be used to ask for your email or ask for any personal identifiable information and sell that. Mail fraud and skimming. Skimming is something that BMO takes very seriously and something that we check for daily, as far as with our devices. So these are all very important things to look out for when identifying fraud.
And Kevin, if you don't mind, I want to go a little bit deeper into skimming. So
Okay.
what skimming is when an ATM is actually compromised. So where you stick your card, there's a device, and generally it's easily checkable. If you just go up to the ATM and wiggle it, that piece where your card goes in will move. If that moves in any type of way, that means that that ATM has been affected and that you should not continue to use it. All right, and I'll let you go ahead, Kevin.
And then some common scams here: phishing scams, telephone scams, and other fraud scams. Something that we do see a lot here at the bank, and um, also some other things that you should look out for as far as identity theft. With the phishing email, you may receive something as far as a fake email from your bank or insurance company asking you for information, saying if you don't send this in enough time, then your account may be terminated or could end the relationship of anything else that you may have signed up for. So definitely be wary and look out for that. And then also having this sent to your spam folder. So it's not something that you should just ignore if you receive it. Send it to your spam folder, your junk folder, so that way it can block any other messages coming from that remitter there. Some common things to look out for: misspelling, generic greetings, so not specified, and then just some unprofessional language here, as well as a fake login page. And I would never encourage anyone to actually click on the link, but to also just continue to identify, would my bank be sending me an email like this? Should I reach out to my bank? Taking those steps will help you prevent identity theft. This is another example of a phishing email here. You got, dear customer, we noticed that you signed in from a different computer. Please log in using this link, specifying using this link to verify your login password. It doesn't sound right. Not only does that not sound right, but it also has the subject line saying change your password. We have a generic greeting. We have misspelling in the link that they have provided. And we also have a dilemma pretty much. It's saying that if we do not have this verified within the next 24 hours, your account will be permanently deleted. Phone scams. Phone scams are very common, especially amongst elderly. And this one here is an example script saying that Mrs. James won $1 million lottery. All she needs to do is verify her identity with her social security number and provide bank details so they can wire the money. I can't tell you how many times I've actually came across this at the bank. And it's a really sad thing to see, but it is something that we do want to continue to reach out and inform our customers as well as future partners that, these are some common scams. These are some common ways that people are retrieving people's personal identity and just kind of creating a bad situation for them. Another example of a phone scam. This is an outline showing that somebody's nephew is in trouble. Random call saying that someone needs bail within the next so and so hours. You need to wire the money here. I mean, just a common example of fraud here. So I'll read through this one here. At 87, Mr. Ali lives alone in his home. His wife passed away 10 years ago and his children live in a different state. Recently, he met a young man called Samer, who said that he was Mr. Ali's long-lost nephew. Samer quickly moved into Mr. Ali's house and helped with his daily chores. Mr. Ali was so grateful that he agreed to give Samer power of attorney so that he could manage the household finances. Mrs. Garcia was 78 years old when she gave her niece Angela power of attorney. Recently, Mrs. Garcia has become quite quiet and sad. She does not leave the house for her daily walk anymore. Her neighbors noticed that Angela bought an expensive new car and claimed it was for her aunt. Angela was also making plans to remodel and expand the guest bedroom and plans to move in. Since it is her aunt's house, she intends to use her aunt's funds to pay for the expenses. When Angela is not around, Mrs. Garcia complains that some of her things are missing. And those are some common things that we identify at the bank too. We are given procedure. We're given order to, notify the proper department regarding things that we identify here.
Yeah.
So
Two things I wanted to point out too, Kevin, if you don't mind, with the last two slides, is that those are two different type of forms of elderly abuse. financial abuse. So one is in a place where the person is joyous about having the help and being able to have someone to talk to. This generally comes from a person who's generally lives alone, doesn't have that many people having their family contacting them that much. So it's very easy for them to become a victim by, someone popping up and saying, "Hey, I'm a family member that, long lost family member." The other one is more so one where it's a little bit different, where the person is not in the best of place and not comfortable. And the most common thing about the both is that the person's not really going to say anything. One reason is the first reason the person's not going to say anything because they're happy with the situation. There's no reason for them to complain. They feel like they're actually gaining something in the thing when they're being taken advantage of. The second one, they're not going to pretty much say anything because of their pride. They feel as though, hey, I don't want anyone to know that I'm being taken advantage of. I can't believe that I've gotten to this situation. So it becomes a little bit of something to be ashamed of. So it's something that, we as bankers are trying to look out for, as well as we always encourage our people who have elderly family members. When a bank just randomly calls you and they leave you a voicemail and they're saying, hey, it's about your family member, to actually call us because we're actually trying to help you take care of your family member. So just something to keep in mind.
And then also just some other things to be wary of: child identity theft, medical identity theft, and tax identity theft. With child identity theft, children's personal information may be used by thieves to open accounts, apply for and use credit cards, apply for social service benefits, and so on. With medical identity theft, a thief can use your medical identity to access health care, get prescription medication, or claim insurance benefits. With tax identity theft, once thieves have access to your social security number and name, they may file a tax return using your identity so that they receive a large tax return. Red flags. These are some pretty key things that we at the bank look out for. Um, First, starting with denials: denial of a credit card application or services, denial of services, utility, rent, mortgage, etc. Unusual activity: you have unusual charges on the credit card, unusual changes in your credit report, unusual calls from debt collectors, or unusual bills for services or products that you may not have used. You got IRS reporting, indicating that more than one person has filed a tax return using your social security number. IRS reports indicating wages received from unknown sources. Medical information as far as incorrect medical bills or history. And then lost items like lost mail or lost bills. Another key thing there, the lost mail. I know being at the bank here, a lot of our customers here change their address. We live in an area that people are moving from apartment to apartment. So every time we like to ask them, is your current information here up to date? And we go over that extensively as far as their home address to their contact information, just to make sure that we are always on point and up to date with who we're talking to and how we're reaching out to you. Protecting against identity theft, do's and don'ts. Do's: do monitor your account, credit reports, and credit score. Another neat thing that BMO offers is Credit View, a feature that allows you to see your credit score as well as everything under your credit report within the BMO app. Do monitor your financial statements. Whether you're receiving electronic statements or paper statements, make sure that you are taking a look at that, monitoring your debts, and also keeping your information safe. So, as far as practicing online safety, make sure that you are securely logging into your online portal or your app under a secured Wi-Fi. Something that Sherwin actually mentioned a couple of days ago was how he doesn't like to go to a restaurant or doesn't like to go to a public building and use their Wi-Fi because most of the times those are unsecured. Uh, do secure important documents, as I said before, and do be aware of your surroundings. So know where you keep your information and know who is around your information in order to keep your information secure. Don't use public Wi-Fi to access sensitive information. Don't click unknown links and don't open suspicious attachments. Here's a few ways to protect yourself against identity theft. You have credit monitoring services, you have identity monitoring services, credit or security freezes, and fraud alerts. I know one thing when we're opening accounts here, we like to help you navigate through your online banking app as well as setting up those notifications and alerts for when you do spend money or when you go over a certain threshold. That way, you're managing your funds there and knowing what you're spending. This is how the law protects you. So, Identity Theft and Assumption Deterrence Act of 1998. This act states that identity theft is a federal crime that can carry a punishment of up to 15 years imprisonment. The Graham Leach Bliley Act of 1999. This act requires financial institutions to protect your data and notify you about how they use your information. So usually when you're opening an account and you're receiving all that paperwork, that's stuff that we go over within the handbook, just letting you know how you can keep your account and your information safe. So steps to take after identity theft: collect information and review accounts. You want to make sure that you're not missing out on anything that you didn't catch previously, but also just making sure that it won't happen again by reporting to the FTC, fraud departments, and law enforcement. And then also opportunities to repair damage and just taking the necessary action in order to do so.
And one more thing that I'll mention that's not there is actually freezing your account, freezing your credit report is actually a very important step that you can take. It's just like I'm not sure if everyone's familiar with the act of freezing your debit card or credit card when it's not in use. You can also do the same thing with your credit report. If you're not using it, why have it unlocked? Go ahead, lock your credit report with all three bureaus until you need to use them.
All right, so in this workshop, we learned how to identify the signs of identity theft and fraud, examine different types of identity theft and fraud. We identified strategies to protect yourself from identity theft and fraud, and also learn strategies to protect your data using safe habits. And now we'll open the floor to questions.
Great. Thank you so much. That's very helpful. So if you guys have any question, you can raise your hand or you can send your question through the chat. Yeah, so thanks so much, Kevin and Sharwin. Yeah, it's very helpful. I learned a lot.
No, we appreciate you and we appreciate the opportunity. Anytime we get to discuss anything that you are curious about, um, we would be more than happy to do a session like this or even come in person and present to your organization. So we appreciate this.
Cool. Um, I don't so like so if they don't have it, maybe or before they ask, maybe I have a couple of questions.
And it doesn't
What
even have to be about identity theft. It could just be general banking
Yeah,
questions.
yeah. I think this is very important. Like so for this identity theft, like there are different theft protection agencies. When you like the LifeLock and Identity Guard and so the question is that worth it to buy some of those ones?
Well, not necessarily, because what they do is most of the time is put a lock. Do the same. They pretty much do the same thing you can do yourself. Call the three credit bureaus and put the lock on yourself. And if you have the free apps for all three credit bureaus, you can easily do them and do them yourself from the apps of the credit bureaus. And those apps are 100% free.
So the free apps is so you can install them
Yep.
but
So
also
it'll be
huh?
TransUnion, Equifax, and what's the other one? I'm kind of stuck. I always get stuck on the third one.
Yeah,
TransUnion,
TransUnion
Equifax,
is
and TransUnion,
XP, what is
Equifax.
it,
Yeah,
XP?
Experian. Yes, the
Yeah.
Experian always gets me stuck. So TransUnion, Equifax, and Experience. They all three of them have credit have apps where you can go in, put in your information, and lock your credit reports.
So lock means was like, for example, he said freeze your credit report. So what does it
Hmm.
mean? Like if let's say if I have a mortgage and then I have a couple of credit cards
Hmm.
and then I have a checking account and then I have a saving account. So I have to do transaction, I have to do shopping. So
Yeah.
either using
So
my
it
credit.
does not, yeah, it does not affect the individual products that you already have that are your credit-based products. So if you have a credit card, you can
Yeah.
freely use that as you need to. That's not the issue. What
Yeah.
happens is when you freeze your credit card, it prevents anyone for applying for new credit and without you knowing. So what will happen is, let's say if a fraudsters did get your information and they apply for a loan for Jaguar, what will happen is with your credit being blocked, it will say, hey, this credit is blocked. We can't run credit. And then the person who's running your credit will say, hey, we can't proceed with the application because your credit is locked.
Oh,
Now, so yeah, so therefore it prevents anyone from putting anything new in your name. And it really helps you in the future from any type of future fraud.
okay, I got it. So the existing ones will not be affected, but for the new ones, whatever account is going to be open, um, so they'll not be they don't have any opportunity to open it. It could be me or other people. If I want to
Exactly.
open it, change my mind, I'd have to unfreeze it. Is
Yeah,
that the
exactly. And when you're ready to go in, like you want to go and apply for another credit card or do any type of credit situation, you simply go in and unlock it. This also applies for as simple as open as a checking account because believe it or not, banks do soft credit checks, and what a soft credit check is when we run just to get a picture of your financial information, but
Mhm.
not a hard hit. So it's like you don't lose any points or anything. We just simply need to look at the picture of your credit to make sure that to make sure that you're a great candidate to bank at a bank.
Okay. So as he said, so it will not going to affect my credit score.
No, does not affect your credit score when you freeze your credit. It's no way affects anything that you have going on. Again, it's a way of having an extra step of protection for you.
Oh,
And you
okay.
got to make sure that you unfreeze it. You got to make sure that you unfreeze it though when you after you are applying for anything, or else that could put a halt on any application that you have.
Yeah. So, but this has to be done. I have to do like for three those companies, basically.
Yes,
Just
so you would
using
have to.
that
So
app
you
and
can do it for all three companies, but Experian does have it where you can lock all three. So
oh,
that's one thing
okay.
I can advise on as someone who has it himself. I use Experian and I lock all three, but that one is at a small fee where you're able to control all three.
Oh, it's like is that a monthly or is it one-time fee?
It's a monthly fee for Experian, yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
think it's $19.
Yes, 19.99. Yep.
Oh, monthly.
Yes, monthly, yes.
Oh, that's a decent amount. I mean, it's not like
A
okay.
lot of benefits to it, though. It gives you projections on where you can be. It has a credit calculator where you can punch in how much, if I were to pay this much, how it would affect my credit. So it can really help you stay on schedule.
Got you. Okay. And then also you were mentioning because you got a bunch of lists, why we get this identity theft or fraud. Um, I don't know. It's what's your recommendation? Let's say when we go outside to eat, or especially at restaurants, or it could be movie theaters, other like service places. It's which one is better to use cash or credit card? If you use credit card,
Well,
your score can go up. But there's a possibility, something can happen too. So
so
what?
yeah. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's always one thing that I always recommend. It depends. So like using cash or card. One thing I always say is that no matter what, never let anyone walk out of sight with your card. um, and now this new technology friendly days, we have it where the waiters can come to the table with the payment device and take your payment. So there's not really a need for that. But also, generally, what I recommend for people is that you have different accounts set up for certain things. So if you have a spending account where you know you're going to be, I have a one account where I know it's my spending account. It's the card connected to the account that hey, I don't have to worry about it. This is where my spend money is. But my solid large chunk of funds sit in another account, generally my bill paying account. This protects my big chunk of funds from being attacked by what I do with my small card, if that makes sense. Another thing is that most debit cards and credit cards have the tool where you can lock and unlock them. I recommend that for all times. Again, when your card is not in use, there's no need for it to be unlocked. Go ahead and lock that thing up. And when you're in the home, you know, it's like you're gonna be at home working Monday through Friday. There's no need for you to have that card unlocked. But on Saturday, hey, you know, you're gonna go grocery shopping, you know, maybe go to the movies, maybe go get something to eat. Then you want to have your card unlocked that day. But then on Sunday morning, I'm locking my card right back up because there's no need for me to have it unlocked. So those are a couple things you can do to protect yourself. But when it comes to as far as using credit cards or debit cards or cash, one thing I'll say is that the one thing that I love about today's system in banking is that we like to reward our customers when they use their credit cards or debit cards. You get certain
Y-
points. So I'm always going to be an advocate of, hey, yeah, use your cards because one, we live in Chicago. You just never know what's going to happen. So that having that card on you can be an extra step for protection for yourself where you're not having just cash on you. But then also you can earn rewards and points by using your credit cards and your debit card. So I very much am an advocate of using your card, be cash low as possible, but of course always have something on you in case of emergencies, but not a big chunk of cash. No.
Yeah, so a follow-up question to that one is you said, okay, you freeze and freeze your card, let's say on Sunday if you're away. I mean, if you're away for a week or a couple of days, I think it makes sense. But if you want to do it like daily, is feasible? I don't know. It's
Yes, yes. So it is a instant process when you lock and unlock your card. So it's
uh
not going to take you like 5 minutes to unlock your card. You simply go in, swipe to the side, and it's locked or unlocked. So it's okay if you wanted to do it every day. But if you wanted to just do it where like, hey, it in the pattern of your spending, where you know, hey, I know I'm gonna be out all day, I want to keep it, or I want to be spending all week, let me keep it unlocked and or lock it. But
oh,
it's a
so
very easy tool. Sorry.
oh, sorry, I interrupt. So this one is like when you have your phone, like your phone. Basically, if you're connect your credit card with your phone, because I was thinking my
Exactly.
eyes in my case is I have just the hard card. So
Hmm.
to freeze and freeze, they have to go online, and then I see that option. But I think the one you said is maybe if you connect your cell phone, yeah, that could be unlocked, and so that's okay.
And
I got it now.
generally, if you have the app for any your banking process, whatever bank you use,
Yeah.
that you can go into that app and lock and unlock the card, and that's going to be the quickest and simplest way of doing it.
Oh, okay, that's smart way. Okay, I was not aware of it actually. Great. Okay, what about the other people? Do you guys have any questions? I'm just the one dominating you, so
And if you
anybody?
don't have any questions as of now, what was that? You just want to say something?
I said anybody I'm asking.
Okay. And if you don't have any questions, I put mine and Kevin's email in the chat. Feel free to email your questions. We will call, email. We will have a small meeting, whatever you would like to talk to you more about financial needs. And then hopefully this is not the last time we do this either. So,
Yeah, great. I think we'd love to I mean learn this is very important information, because and then some people also I heard like did they say reduce your number of credit card. Is that worth it? Or just let's say instead of having sometimes people, you get tempted when you go to Macy's or other places, open a credit card so you're gonna get this point or this. it'll be like 50% off something, and then you get tempted, you get that card, and then you go to Home Depot, you get another card. So you go to Costco, you get
Yeah.
another card. At the end of the day, we'll have like 10 different credit cards. So the question is like when you end up with that, is that, I mean, is that like a smart way to reduce, go to two all of the sudden, or what is the best way? I don't know to.
So one thing is that it's very important to have credit.
Yeah.
So having a credit card is the normally the normal way that people kind of start building their credit. And if you have to, it's kind of like a wise balance, you know, because you need credit in order to do everything. In order to, you know, gain capital, buy a home, you need to have a process of building credit. But here's the thing: it can become dangerous when you're frivolously spending. So if you are someone who uses a particular store, like I would say, let's say if it's Macy's, Macy's gives a lot of benefits and a lot of discounts when you have a credit card and when they have certain promotions. If that's the case and you like going to Macy's and you like shopping at Macy's, you should definitely have a Macy's credit card because you're going to benefit on saving money in that area. But if you're going to Home Depot and you only went into Home Depot to buy a can of paint and you're not going to Home Depot in the next 6 months, do not get a Home Depot credit card. It makes no sense. If you're going to utilize the credit card and you're going to get the benefits of it, yes, go by all means get it. But if it's only something that you use every now and then or sporadic purchases, stay away from them. One thing I always recommend though when it comes to credit cards is getting a bank's what we call bank's flagship credit card because those credit cards give you points, rewards, also helps you pay back, and also can help you pay back the credit card as well. When it comes to department store credit cards, they're sometimes tricky. I'm not a big fan of them, but some of them do help build credit. Particularly, Macy's does have a credit builder credit card for people where you can start off credit. Anyone can go in with just $50 and put it on a credit, as little as $50 and put on a credit card. That'll help them start building their credit.
Got
But
it.
utilization is going to always be important when it comes to credit card. Does not matter how many you have, it matters how much of it is being utilized.
Oh yeah,
So
for your.
let's say you have one credit card, 30% is suggested. You have two,
Exactly.
15% is suggested for each of those cards. So that way you're not maximizing your credit usage or you're not over or under percent.
Oh, this one is the total amount that you, whatever the amount they allow you, the total amount that you spend or something. Is that the 30%?
So staying within 30% of that actual balance allowance. Yes.
Amount allowed. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Got it. Even I mean the interest rate is pretty high. If you if you stay than that, they can kill you, you
Yeah,
know?
interest rates. Yeah, interest is one of the good ways of getting around that. If you're a person who likes to pay off bills exactly at the end of the month, just paying it off before you hit your 30-day mark, and you'll avoid all interest charges.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then also, if you're new to a credit card, one of the things that's really popular with us in our credit card is that we give you 15 months before we charge you any interest.
As well as 15 months for balance transfers, 0%. So when you said you had those other cards and you didn't know which one to pay off or how you were going to pay those off, you can always consolidate that into one card.
Yeah. Let's see if other people have any questions.
I have a
I have
question.
one more question, but let me give them chance. Yeah. Go, John.
Thank you, Kevin and Sherwin. I have a question about the paper checks. If I lost my paper check sent to my mortgage company and it's used by a theft, is that advisable to use online banking or just quitting the checking the paper check?
Yeah, I per se am really against paper checks at all. Particularly when we can now just go into any system and pay like let's you said particularly you use checks for your mortgage, right?
Yeah.
Do you mind me asking who's your mortgage with?
What did you say? Sorry.
I said, do you mind me asking who your mortgage is with?
Rocket?
Yeah. So Rocket Mortgage definitely has an online system where you can go in and have your checking and checking account and routing number programmed there. And whenever you go in to pay your mortgage online with Rocket, it's already there. and you don't have to worry about sending out a paper check where it could be intercepted by what we call the fishers, who they will actually literally go inside of a mailbox with a pizza gum and a string and try to fish out mail. So that's one of the things I'm very cautious about when it comes to sending out mail. Or even if you put in your own mailbox and they see that red flag is up and the mail person is coming, they'll go into your mailbox and take it right out. So I'm very cautious when it comes to I'm against sending out paper checks in the mail.
All right, thank you.
And we have something. Oh, unless you just already explained bill pay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Other questions too? Other people? Let's see. Matthias, Butsum, Harry, anybody? Do you have any questions?
Feel free to reach out to us by email anytime. We are always available, and just always want to just inform you of what we have to offer as well as what you have to look out for. Okay.
So yeah, great. I mean, I have just one more question, and I think I will not bombard you. So
No, you're fine.
I'm very curious. I have let's say I have this guy cut, my yards grass, and usually I use a check-in to to pay him. But sometimes like things that comes to your mind, it's basically in the check you have the routing number and then the actual phone number. So which one, like they have to go with the cash or something? Like this is just a follow-up to John's caution, so
Yeah.
what is this, like which one is recommended, that one? And the other thing is also when you protect yourself, there's a lot of things, your social security, your name, your address. Your address, I don't think so you can protect it. I mean, I can put anybody's name, Google it, their address comes, even their age and things can. That one is, I don't think so. There's a way of protecting it. It's already over there. Social security, yes. Insurance card. But the question is, I know you can know we can freeze everything as you said. That's one thing. But especially for our, just sometimes I worry for my children and so their information. So and then I contemplating, that I have to buy this identity theft protection, and some people will give you a kind of confusing message that, oh, it's not worth it. Um, my question is, what is the best way to protect? I know you gave us Kevin, you were mentioning, both of you were mentioning, when it's like you have to shred your stuff, you have to be careful, and then don't use public internet. But
No.
you get
Yeah.
tempted. I live in Skokie, and Skokie Library is amazing,
Oh.
so
I know
so
how the Wi-Fi is. I know how the reception is up there, so I get it though.
yeah, the reception is amazing, even way better than my house. And then so you get tempted to do something,
Yeah.
but yeah, I look like, I think from your presentation is as much as possible is better to to avoid the public Wi-Fi. I agree that part. But I don't know
Yes.
for the other, this information like name, I don't think so you can
Well,
protect
there
it.
is a
Address, is
way
it
of doing
possible?
that.
Huh?
There's a way of doing that. Now because I've done it myself. Where I've seen information of mine online, and I've had to go in and do a certain request where they removed it. Google has a way where you can protect yourself. That is a paid service as well, but it's a one-time payment. But then also you can do this through the credit reports as well, through the credit bureaus as well, where you block how much of your information is out there. Generally, really like an Experian, you can go onto the app and you can limit how much information of yours is shared. Another thing that I really recommend is if you're on social medias, do not use your full real name. That actually prevents a lot of Googling as well, where they will be able to, it's limits on what they can find on you. Particularly, my name is Sherwin Tallison. I only have S as my first name, so you can't find me if you were to type in my first name anywhere. But you can limit yourself on how much exposure you have by how much information you put out there. So when you have those type of things that are like contests where they actually enter your information, those are actually just most of the time phishing places where they're actually trying to get your information so they can just sell it. So when you see stuff like that, I recommend you don't fill it out because it's a real chance. I mean, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to win. So let's just, be smart about those type of things. But what I can do is that I can find out the website where you put in your information to have your information restricted from being searchable. I just don't remember right now, and then I'll send it over to you all so you all can use that or send it amongst your members so they can play with that tool.
Yes, that'll be great if you can send. I send you my email. If you can send to me or John, I think that'll be very helpful. Even for myself, I'm just
Perfect.
want
Yeah,
to get
there's so many. And then I think the first question that you had was, I'm sorry, can you repeat the first? Because that was the second. What was the first question you had again? I'm sorry.
The first one is just about the social security, your name and address. As I said, I think you answered that question. I mean, some of them you can control them, and maybe the social security you can control it. How do you control it? I think you answered that one through that website or something. The other is, I think, about the buying the other theft protections. I already that one answered it. I think that's the one I had.
As far as the buying them though, that's not something I really recommend because those are all things you can do yourself. Like to me, I think it's a really big waste of money. Back in 2015, it was proven that LifeLock was not necessarily need. The guy used to hold up his social security number, and it was found out that he had his identity stolen over 500 times from just holding up his social security number on that commercial. So yeah, it's not really something that's worth it.
Got it. Yeah. Thank you so much. Any questions? And then it's almost 5 o'clock. Any questions?
Yeah, that's a key question.
Okay, go ahead, Mahari.
Okay, thank you, Sherwin and Kevin. This is very important for our community. And my question is, you're talking about the credit bureau, about Equifax, and I don't know, the two companies. Is that necessarily to pay every month to protect your identity, or I don't know how it's working that way?
No, yeah, you don't have to pay Equifax, TransUnion, or Experian. They actually have free accounts where you can control locking and unlocking your credit or freezing and unfreezing your credit. You just have to go into each app and apply with your social, apply for the free account, and you can go in and lock and unlock.
Okay, got it.
I can also send the links for the free apps as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that'll be great. Whatever information that you have that can protect our identity, I think that'll be great to share with us, and then we can forward the information to our members. Any just let me give you one more chance. Just any questions? Please. Okay. So if there's any question, thank you so much, Kevin and Sherwin, for your willingness, to share this valuable information with us. It's this can benefit our community a lot. I learned a lot from myself. That's why I was asking a lot of questions.
I love it. I love it.
So I really appreciate your willingness, to support our community. So, for sharing all these important topics with us, that's great. And then keep in touch. Thank you so much.
Right. Thank you all so much.
For our community.
Have a great Saturday.
Yeah. Enjoy your weekend, and it's nice weather. Take care.
Yes, you're right. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Kevin, see you Monday.
I see you Monday.
Yeah.
As usual.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for coming, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Desu. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye-bye.